Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast, the original all-turkey, all-the-time podcast with your co-hosts Andy Galliano and Cameron Weddington.
In our weekly podcast, we're going to bring you some wild turkey calling tips like this.
From there, we're going to go into, she's aggravated, there's another hen that's challenged her, or she's challenging another hen. She's going to cut an excited yelp.
Advice from old pro turkey hunters like this.
The turkeys typically don't like, I think, more times than not, to travel in an easterly direction into the sun first thing in the morning, especially after he gets up. It's a blinding thing. It's just like you. It's hard for you to see into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a choice, I'm going to try to make it so that I'm going to be on the west side in the morning, east side in the afternoon of a turkey.
Exciting live hunts like this.
Holy crap, that coming. Holy cow. Oh, God.
Then we're going to teach you how to cook your bird with advice such as this.
With some fresh rosemary and garlic, and then cool that off and spread that along the inside of that butterflied turkey breast that we've seasoned on both sides.
Wildlife management tips for your property, especially with turkeys like this.
If you look at the type of habitats that turkeys need for nesting and brooding, that tends to be habitat that can be managed more successfully with growing season fire than with dormant season fire.
And hopefully along the way, we'll get plenty of these.
Well, on November the 28th of 1953, I was attached. When I popped out of my mom and the baby doctor spanked me on the bottom, I went, oh! And I've been doing it ever since.
I like that.
Thank you for tuning in. And now, for this week's show. Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode number 542, the 2026 Spring Turkey Season Recap episode. And I am your co-host and the guy who is still not having any success teaching chipmunks how to swim.
And I'm your co-host and the guy who, I isn't doing anything. I just in limbo with turkey season over, I guess. Sweating? I don't know. It's hotter than heck here right now, so we'll go with that. But man.
So you're doing your best putty impersonation from Seinfeld?
Yeah, pretty much.
Just sitting around staring at the back of the chair in front of you?
That's all I do. That's it. But man, yeah. Well, I hope your chipmunk trapping's been successful. I've ended my trap line for a little while because I started seeing some baby raccoons on camera, and I'm just not going to trap mom and have the rest of them sitting there looking at me. I just can't do it. So we'll give them a break for a little bit, let them get up and out, and then we'll get back after them. But
you could always get rid of mom and then just take them to an animal rescue, take the little ones to an animal rescue service. Let them
bring
raise
them
them
to your house.
Yeah, you can do that, and then you can come pick up their hides.
Yeah.
That's ANDY at IamTurkeyHunting.com.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we got a long episode ahead, so we're not going to take too much time here. We're doing a recap, just a little talking about how our turkey seasons went. But, man, we got a special guest to kick things off. Everybody's favorite is coming back.
The man, the myth, the turkey hunting legend.
Well, I got a call coming in, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
See ya.
Hey, everybody. Cameron and I are really excited to have back on the show with us, just to kind of catch up, because we like to have some guests on the show or regulars from the show tell us how their season went this past spring. And so we're just fired up to have Hank Brookside on again with us to kind of tell us how his season went this year. So, Hank, how are you, sir?
I'm doing just fine, fellas. Thank y'all for having me again. It's a pleasure to be back.
That's about the only month of the year we can get you, seems like.
Well, I'm chasing turkeys all around the country, so it's got to keep me busy somehow. And when I got some free time, and coming on here is great. I know the last episode was awesome and seems to get a lot of praise, so I was excited when y'all asked me to have me back.
Yeah, it inspired you to start a TikTok account, I hear.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into it. Social media is it's a lot for me, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Which you think my generation, I'd be well technology inclined, but it's taking a little bit of adjusting and trying to make sure I get the lighting and everything right for these videos I'm putting out.
Yeah, been following along. You got some pretty good jigs you dance on there with your turkeys, and you've really grown quite the following so quickly. Hopefully our podcast was a helpful boom in that.
Oh, it was. It definitely was. It's kind of skyrocketed right after the episode because y'all's got my name out there, and now I'm getting pretty big. And it's been a lot of help, and I appreciate you guys doing that for me.
Yeah.
Well, I've been more impressed with all of the tree pictures that you have with your turkeys up in the tree.
Oh, yeah.
And
you kind of started that trend this spring.
Yeah, I saw that one where you had frozen all of your turkeys from the spring and then put them all up in the tree, and you got a picture with every single one of your birds after the season ended. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of turkeys. I was chasing the Super Grand Slam and all in one year, so it was quite a few turkeys.
Yeah, that limb was sagging, and it looked like most of them, you didn't have to strap them up there. They had a little, stiff because they're frozen, but the spurs on them were hanging them right there from the limb.
Yeah, they laid up there good. There might have been some twine involved. Some of them aren't all. Never mind.
Yeah, a couple jakes and whatnot.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Hey, turkey's a turkey.
That's it. That's right.
Yeah.
Man, well, tell us about your season real quick. We're not going to keep you the whole time, but do you have any good hunts this year?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was trying to chase getting all the states knocked out. So, I had a bunch of good hunts the whole year. Everything went pretty much according to plan, but, there's some tough days out there. There was one day I was out in Nebraska, and man, I was hunting the Coochie Wildlife Management Area out there. It's a good area, like southwest Kansas, Nebraska, excuse me. And I'm hunting the state line so I can try to jump back and forth between some places. And I know this is probably pretty frowned upon, but you got to do what you got to do. And I got in there real early, and little did I know, I got right up underneath them. And there's like 5 or 6 gobblers all up in this same tree. And I shot one real early. He may or may not have been on the ground yet, but he fell on the wrong side of the line. So I might have reached back up there and shot another one before he even got out of the trees. So I killed 2 turkeys, and they fell on different sides of the line. So that's how I knocked out Kansas and Nebraska at the same time.
Dang.
Man.
Yeah.
That was kind of lucky right there. Get 2 at one time, and you're done headed. I guess you're probably in Oklahoma by the end of the day.
I drove down there after because, I have, those states are, drive-through states that take 10 hours to get from one side to the other. So I had to go. I just headed south and went to Oklahoma and proceeded to keep hunting for the season.
And so was the tree in Nebraska or Kansas?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess the tree doesn't know where the state line is, does it? And it doesn't have to pay property taxes, so.
Yeah, and so you just tagged one in Kansas, one in Nebraska, because I guess, one may have been hanging over the limb in Kansas and one's hanging over the limb in Nebraska.
Right. You're not supposed to kill a turkey, multiple turkeys in the same state on the same day. So that's why I tag them in different states.
That's perfect. That's one way to get it done quick and move on. If I was you, next year when you do the single season slam again, I'd probably go back to that same tree and try to do it again.
There's a good chance I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
So
that's awesome.
You have pretty well decided you're going to do the single season U.S. Slam.
That's the goal for 27. I got to start still planning it all out and making sure I get all my ducks in a row before we really start booking, booking the flights where I'm not flying private to each one. But it's, I got a couple of states where I need to fly in and get some good area and get everything lined up exactly how I need it, get drivers and everything to take me around. So,
yeah. And what was the name of that WMA?
The Nacoochee Wildlife Management Area.
Okay. What part of it were you on?
The Southwest. It was in Southwest Kansas. Nebraska. I'm sorry, I said that.
Well, but hey,
did that the first time too.
Northwest, Southwest, whichever one the tree's on,
Exactly. Yeah. In Northwest Kansas. Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. All right. I appreciate you sharing that specific name with us. That's good.
Yeah, it's a large area out there. It's got a lot of turkeys on it. It even seems to hold a lot of giant deer. So it's something where I've hunted quite a bit in my life.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah, if anybody, all the listeners out there are looking for the Nacoochee Wildlife Management Area out there, It's quite spectacular.
I bet. Sounds like it.
That's pretty cool. So
what's next on the agenda for
yeah, I
you?
was about to ask the same thing.
So I'm headed to Florida. They got an archery season opens up in August, and I just bought me a brand new Raven. I got a pretty sweet deal on it. It's the Raven 29X. I got it for $22.50. So I mean, I'll be able to shoot a turkey at like 100 yards with that thing almost.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Man.
man, we're going down to this super souped up place in Florida outside of Melbourne. And man, they got one of those super nice duck blinds with the Wi-Fi and the air conditioning, and we could turn the TV on while we're hunting. And there's like a 14-foot pile of corn out there that's about knee deep. So it's quite spectacular. It's going to be really nice, and might sneak in a beer or two while we're out there hunting.
Yeah, heck yeah. That might decrease your Raven range to 80 yards if you have too many.
It might, but I mean, that thing's basically like a heat-seeking missile. I mean, you can get another one off before they even know what happened.
I was just about to say that South Florida on August 1 that's just going to be brutally hot. But air
conditioning.
You're not. Yeah.
I'll be in shorts.
Yeah,
so you're
in my flip flops. It's going to be glorious.
So you're hunting in like some air conditioned, like power blind,
like them Duck Dynasty blinds you see. Yeah, exactly. It's got its own like generator out there. It's wonderful.
Dang.
That sounds pretty great. And then got the
y'all see y'all come with me. It'll be a blast.
Yeah.
I might do something like that now.
Y'all can't get out there and fly with me, but maybe see if I can't get y'all to tag along. It'd be a really good hunt for us.
Yeah, if you swing your plane by the McKellar Sipes here, I'll hop in with you.
I'll come get you. Let's see if I can't make that happen.
That would be pretty neat.
We'll have to do a recording. That's bound to be some good gobbling, so we'll have to record the audio from those hunts.
Oh, absolutely. If they ever get the chance to gobble.
Yeah, the Raven. The Raven, they silence them pretty quick.
Yeah, they just decapitated,
Oh, yeah, you use one of those broadheads?
Yeah, well, they don't fly that great. If I want to use one of those broadheads, I'll have to do that at like 30 yards because they don't fly exactly straight. But the Raven, they just hit it like a hatchet and cut it right open.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's great. And get a good close-up photo of that for the for your TikTok. That'll go.
Yeah, I'd have to put one of those viewer discretion advisory photo things over it because them softies are out there on the left. So
yeah,
you can get a bunch of bunny huggers.
Exactly. Don't need that happening.
Harassing you for sure.
Exactly. PETA.
How many states did you get knocked off this past spring?
I think it was in the 30s or maybe even low 40s. It was definitely high 30s, but I knocked out a good bit. I didn't make it to Hawaii this year, and I didn't do some of the super far northeast, and I didn't even try in Nevada because,
Yeah.
Well, that's all. I mean, you got a pretty easy path then for your single season Super Slam again this fall.
Yeah, it's looking real crisp for next year.
Yeah, man. Well, that's great, man.
We're all set for Nevada for this coming spring.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's the one I'm worried about. The other ones I'm not too. It's just Nevada, really. That's really, really worried about, but it shouldn't be a problem. I think I've got some good spots lined up and some private landowners out there that are going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You throw some Benjamins out there, and they're like, okay.
Yeah. That money talks,
It does.
Well, tell us about your last turkey hunt from this spring and what you did there, and then we'll let you go.
Well, I finished on Memorial Day in Tennessee by killing a Jake, trailing a hen with a dozen poults. It's not my favorite way to do it, but I kind of it's the last day of the season, so I'm trying to walk out of there with a turkey. So
yeah, I'm impressed you got a turkey at all. Yeah, Tennessee being open on Memorial Day weekend is kind of wild in itself. It's a little.
It was hot. It was super hot, but
yeah,
got to do what you got to do. So there's killers.
And so she already had poults.
Oh yeah, I mean I came back in Alabama late April, and there was already poults there.
Wow.
They're all over the place now. It's they be breeding so early now.
Yeah, that's wild. That's pretty cool. You killed a turkey. You saw the next generation and then took out last year's turkey.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't have him messing with my this year's poults.
There you go. Yeah, he was probably looking to salt some eggs.
He was looking for something. He was up to no good, so I had to make sure he wasn't doing nothing like that.
Well, like you said, last day of season, got to fill a tag.
Got to fill a tag. If it's not me, somebody else will.
That's right. Next year when he's a gobbler.
Exactly. Well, he was almost gobbling.
Yeah, there you go. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
Well, Hank, I've got to tell you, one of the highlights of my season this year was being able to share turkey camp with you.
Oh, it was a blast.
Yeah, that was cool. I hate that we didn't get to actually get out in the woods together, but you had to load up and go, the second morning of the hunt over there, and you had to get on to the next state. And so but that was fun. I enjoyed sharing camp with you. That was a good time.
No, it was absolutely a great time, and I'm glad you got to come down and we get to enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to hunt together.
Yeah,
this spring, but
August is not too far away.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're right. I might consider doing that.
Well, it'll be nice. Then we'll go out. I got some buddies with some boats down there, and I don't know if y'all are aware, but the Bahamas is not that far from Melbourne, Florida. So it's about a 8-hour boat ride, and they got big boats. It'd be like we're riding on a ship. So
there you go.
We'll kill a turkey in the morning, be in the Bahamas by the afternoon. So
Cameron, that might be an interesting trip.
I'm in. Maybe we can take some turkeys with us to the Bahamas and be the first ones to kill turkeys in the Bahamas.
Oh, that'd be awesome to get pictures in the Bahamas.
There you go. Turkeys. Yeah, we'll shoot them.
Grab your passports, fellas. We're going.
Yeah.
Yeah,
book it.
I'm in. I'm going to tell Tammy that I'm going to load up and go. She won't care. She'll be glad to have me gone for a few days.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Hank, thank you for joining us for a quick update on your season. We just
absolutely, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yes. One of our most popular guests. Make sure you go follow him on TikTok. He is not bashful about sharing his locations at all. A lot of WMA signs in the photos and things like that. He's really helpful for us who are looking for places to travel to.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help. Y'all have a good one, guys. If y'all just let me know when y'all want to do another episode, I'm happy to join.
All right.
Call me after August so I can tell you how my Raven hunt went.
All right. We'll have to do it. Sign that bad boy in for 150 if you have to.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
All right.
See you.
All right. See you, Hank.
Yeah. All right, Andy. Well, that was always interesting talking to Hank.
It is.
And
I mean, he is nonstop on the go.
That's right. The guy he's a murderer of turkeys. Everybody knows it. Man, we've had so much positive feedback from the last episode on social media and on forums. People just, I did see one guy said he wasn't even going to listen to us anymore because we had Hank Brookside on. And I don't understand it. I mean, he's the best turkey hunter in the world.
The people are just jealous. I mean,
That's right.
Just like, look back 15 years ago or so when Alabama was just dominating everybody in football, and people just all around the country just hated Alabama football because when you got to hate a winner. When your team's not a winner, you got to hate a winner.
That's right.
So that same thing goes with turkey hunting and hunting in general. People that have success like that and they share their successes, other people get jealous and start hating.
Pretty much. Well, you want to talk about our springs a little bit? And maybe a little more realistic, but let's just talk about our springs.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, mine will be real quick. So why don't I go first?
Man, go for it.
So all in all, I had more days this past spring where I heard turkeys gobble than I have in years.
That's great.
However, pretty sure I heard less gobbling overall.
Yeah,
the total.
As in like number of gobbles.
Yes.
So you heard a ton of turkeys gobble one or two times.
And that is exactly what happened. And
I heard a lot of reports like that in the Southeast this year, in your area, Mississippi also. It just seemed like that was kind of a thing.
Yeah. It was an interesting year for me because I killed fewer turkeys this year than I have killed in 20 years, maybe longer. And I hunted a lot of days, but I did not travel.
Yeah.
And so that took away opportunities for me to kill, but I did have opportunities to tag out in Alabama. I did not take advantage of those. I missed one. I called, I think I called I was hunting with a buddy one day and we called in 2 turkeys. We were going to try to double and neither one of us ended up getting a shot.
That's always the best when you go from like getting greedy to let's get 2 to we got none.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, just an incredible hunt. I had a lot of really good hunts and where I had opportunities and I did not take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah.
But again, we've talked about this before. It's not the most important thing in the world for me to tag out. It was just kind of to me, one of those things I would like to have done this year, but it was not going to be the end all be all. And I was not going to just start crawling turkeys to make it happen at home.
Especially at home.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I really cannot complain. I spent a lot of mornings in the woods, more than I have the past 2 years. And it was hot weather, but we had a lot of beautiful days with very little rain. And so that gave me more days in the woods, and I really have no complaints.
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting. I mean, I feel like, not to harp on these days or anything, but to hear you say I had a lot of really good hunts where I didn't squeeze the trigger, I just feel like that's lost on a lot of people, that
yeah,
it can be a great hunt without the turkey at the end in your hand.
absolutely.
And that is very real. Like, I don't know what that's a huge part of turkey hunting. You're more than likely going to lose more than you win. And, you have the days where you go out there and the weather sucks, you don't hear anything, and it just overall, you're still happy to be in the woods, but it's like, this wasn't a great hunt. And then you have days where you go yelp one up and blast him, and he runs to the gun, and it's overall a good hunt. But then you have ones where you don't shoot that are even better hunts than those, where there's so much strategy, and you maybe you fooled him and he just happened to pull a trick on you right at the end. You didn't get him, and those are the ones you freaking remember forever.
Yeah.
And the misses, oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about the ones that come into your mind randomly, miss a turkey.
Yeah.
That's the one that pops into your mind at night when you're laying in bed.
They absolutely own you, those hunts do. And, I kind of look at it this way. If I was not carrying Black Death or my sweet little 20-something, and I was carrying a video camera, I would be sitting here talking to you guys about how incredibly awesome the season was and how I had such great audio and video.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean by that. And I hope, and like you kind of said, I'm significantly younger than you, obviously. I mean, significantly, way
younger.
It would be hard for me to catch up to that geriatric state that you're in, but
yes,
it'll be a long time before I'm there. But I've matured in my turkey hunting career, now that I'm in whatever it would be, 20 years or so, that killing the turkey is not the highest priority. And I, like you mentioned early on, that kind of priority list would have been different.
Yeah.
Where if I went hunting at home and didn't kill one, it felt like I didn't have a successful hunt.
Yeah.
And now, especially at home, you go on an out-of-state trip for 3 days or something and come back with 0. It's like, you feel like success rate was not good. Even if you had some good hunts, you're kind of really wanting to come home with a turkey in that scenario.
Yeah.
But at home, it's like, okay, well, come back tomorrow. He'll still be here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I can sleep well tonight knowing I'll likely be on one tomorrow.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, that's great.
How about you?
Well, before we get to me, I was going to ask just overall, I know my answer on this, but I know you traveled a little bit and did your thing around the house. Overall, did you think population of turkeys this year was flat, better, or down than the past couple of years?
So the one state that I traveled to, other than Alabama, obviously, I was there late.
Yeah.
But I have to say that that's a state that is not historically known. Well, I can't really say that. I will say in the recent history, is not known to be a highly populated turkey state. And I see some signs to be optimistic for that state and for the hunters in that state. And so, but I went and I did not carry a gun because I was trying to help Yankee John and Chip get turkeys. And so, but I love that. I mean, I just want to be in the woods. I don't need to carry a gun.
Yeah.
My season success is not judged by the number of beards and legs that I have or meat in the freezer. Now, yes, I'd love to have a freezer full of turkey meat, but I can go to the grocery store and make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that hunt out of state, I have to say I was pleased with it. It was a successful hunt. We needed 2 birds. We got 1. Being as late as it was in the season and knowing that's a state that doesn't carry a lot of turkeys, I think that's awesome 50% success rate. And so, but in Alabama, I will say that there were days when I heard several turkeys gobble. And again, not a whole lot of gobbling as far as numbers of gobbles, but heard several different turkeys gobble. And I just kind of feel like we 2, 3, 4 years ago had some good hatches. And
Yeah.
so I feel good about at least the areas that I hunted in about the future.
Yeah.
Turkey hunting. So
so my observation, I traveled a lot this year, and not really for long trips, but I kind of was all over the place for little short stints is what kind of worked out this year because I had a new baby at home. So, kind of a different spring having 2 kids and one that screams at you all night long. But the consensus I saw from my own observations and others I talked to is this year should have been a pretty darn good spring for folks.
Yeah.
I mean, most everywhere I went seemed like turkeys, especially 2-year-old gobblers, they were doing pretty good. I had a great spring, and observationally, it seemed like this year, at least in the Southeast, it was way ahead. And I know the biologists tell you it doesn't shift, blah, 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 but got a lot of pictures of poults from people in the Southeast and early this year, earlier than normal. So
yeah.
I mean, like on our here, I literally saw one hen. And I hunted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days here, 9, 10, 11. I hunted 11 days here, and I saw one hen.
Wow.
And I will say one thing that worries me here at least, going out of state's kind of like, you're there for a day or two, so how much of a grasp do you have? But I did not see many jakes this year. And the hens all must have been nesting is all I can figure. Because, like, usually we see, henned up turkeys. Well, that just was not the case this year. So my success rate as far as going hunting, if I heard a turkey gobble, which was most mornings actually, my success rate was the best it's ever been. And I accredit that to spring had really come on and the gobblers were very lonely by the time we opened.
Yeah.
Which we opened late, and that's changing next year, but it was really good. But I am a little concerned because if you look at the statewide harvest and the WMA harvest and things like that, this year, Jake harvest was way down. The optimistic side of me is like, oh, hopefully people are not shooting as many Jakes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I think we just didn't have many Jakes this year. And so I do think next year will pose a little more challenging hunting in the Southeast for most people than it was this year. I think it will still be, I would say the past 2 years have been above average out of the last 10. I'd say the last 2 years have been the better 2 years of the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. And I think the harvest numbers reflect that from across the country. And I think next week we just need to do a soup episode because we can talk about some of those harvest numbers, those harvest reports from around the country. But I do agree with it. I think you're spot on. And as far as Jakes go, I saw 5 or 6 in Alabama. I know separate Jakes, not the same Jake 5 or 6 times. And I saw one on my out-of-state trip.
Yeah. I didn't see just 0 Jakes here. Every farm we have had like 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have like that, oh wow, I saw 8 Jakes and then went, to the next field and there were 6 Jakes, that kind of deal, which was kind of the case 2 years ago. So I kind of expected this spring to be very good, and it was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go solely off Jake observations, it's pretty accurate that, okay, I saw Jakes everywhere this year, next year, and the next year it ends up being pretty good usually. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
So, anyway, but I think we'll have a decent spring next year, just forecasting wise. We'll see. If I was to place wagers, I think it'll be lesser than this year. Does that mean harvest will be down? Who knows? Because I think people depend. Kind of blows my mind how much agencies talk about harvest as a metric for the turkey population, and it's like they never factor in the harvest per effort. Where you would factor in how many people are hunting, because that's a big deal. So It's kind of a big part of this deal, and I've never understood why that isn't discussed. Because we'll talk about next year in the soup episode, or next week in the soup episode. But a lot of states had record turkey harvests, and the agencies are like, "Oh, record harvest because there's so many turkeys this year." And I'm like, "Okay, how many licenses did you sell?"
Yeah.
Because if you had 3 times as many people hunting and had a record harvest, does that really mean much?
Yep.
If you had half as many people hunting and still had a record harvest, that means a lot.
Totally agree.
Let's see the full deal there. But overall, for me, unbelievable spring. I had a great spring. I will say this won't be I'm not moaning about it, not shocking anybody. My experience on the public lands that I hunted in multiple states was that pressure was higher than ever. That doesn't shock me at all. It was kind of expected. It was, I don't know what it was this year. It sure seemed like it took a leg up. Like it's been kind of bad, the past couple of years with the public land thing, but this year was like, holy cow. Like, I don't know if it just kind of was the past couple of years. Some of these public lands are big, and there was, enough people where you kind of noticed them, but it wasn't crowded. And maybe an extra 10% more showing up really makes it feel crowded.
Yeah.
But it was, and the effort, holy cow. I mean, I thought I had a leg up early in spring because I had the 2-month-old baby that was waking me up at 1 a.m. and I would just give him a bottle and leave. And so, I mean, I was getting to some of these national forests or WMAs out of state on trips and stuff at 2, 3 in the morning, and there'd be people at every freaking gate sleeping there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost a deal now. Like, you got to about be there the night before to get you a spot. So, public land wise, it is amazing how many people are taking advantage of our nation's public lands to turkey hunt.
Yeah.
So it definitely, I saw more feather piles, more evidence of people being there than ever also.
Yeah. You got to wonder if that is going to slow down at some point. And we've talked about that a little bit. You kind of lean towards no.
Yeah, I just don't, other than it gets regulated down, which I think is what's happening.
Yeah.
Mississippi, for example, non-resident draw, and it was still so bad that they are having to make further changes. So like next year, a non-resident can only take 1 turkey in March in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So they're just going to regulate it down. So now you have the guy who was driving down there 3 years ago and killing his 3 turkeys the first 2 weeks of season. Has to draw, and then if he shoots one, he's gone, if he's legal. Yeah, which I do believe most people are legal. Obviously, there's plenty who aren't, but I would say the majority follow the rules to an extent.
Yeah, we might have a difference of opinion on that.
Yeah, well, maybe not, but it at least impacts some of them. But I think that's the only way it slows down, seemingly, is regulation. I don't think it's going to slow down just because people decide they don't want to go turkey hunt anymore.
Yeah.
Because once you go, and we've talked about this before, some people go, and it's like, yeah, that was really neat. I might, I'll go with you again sometime if you want. That's cool. And then other people go, and it's like a great awakening in their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And once they do it and are in it, it's like me and you. Like there's no way I can't not go. I mean, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, with lease costs and private land costs and guided hunt costs and things, public's the only option. And then a lot of people just really love the idea of public land hunting, especially if they're inspired by social media and stuff. There's kind of this air that a public land turkey gets you the bonus gold star deal. So I just can't imagine it'll slow down other than with regulation. Because I mean, I went to a state this year. I will name it. My description might give it away, but it's one of the few I have left to finish my hashtag super slam, and they have dropped the limit to 1, and they've increased their license fee massively for non-residents.
Yeah.
So it's really expensive to go kill 1 turkey, and it was unbelievably crowded.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so I mean, what else can they do? They're gonna have to go to quotas.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
I mean, if paying $300 to $400 for 1 bird on public land doesn't slow it down, your next step is quotas.
Well, it sounds to me like there's a lot of Hank Brooksides out there where money's not an object. It's money's not an issue. It's just whatever that license costs, we're going to pay it. We're going to go.
Yeah. I think
And
there's a lot of that, and it's just part of it. I guess to an extent, I don't know where the crossover there is. Like if they start charging $1,000 a license for one turkey, like maybe that. But I just hate the idea of like pricing people out to slow it down.
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'd rather them go quotas before they the goal was to monetize it out of people. So I don't know, but we'll see. I think I'd heard that they had more non-residents there than ever this year, even with those changes.
yeah.
So
Well,
and more will be coming. I mean, I know of a state in particular up towards the northeast that did a banding study this past year on public land, and they had a 100% mortality rate of adult gobblers.
wow.
And I think a majority of them were killed by non-residents. So from what I've heard, they're in talks with another state who's implemented things against non-residents and planning to likely do something about it.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, which that data set's kind of hard to argue against. Like, yeah, I mean, killing 100%, that's not good.
That is not good.
Yeah, you kind of got to do something. So, here we go.
Yeah, that's wild.
It is. But anyway, so that was my experience with public land. I mean, it's just, is what it is. I still had really good success. I'm not saying that it ruined my days or anything. I only had one day in particular that was massively ruined by another hunter.
Yeah.
I had other hunter interference. I had other interactions with hunters. I had hunters at gates I wished I could go to, that kind of thing, which you kind of expect. But I had, the one interaction where the guy was just anyway, not going to go into it. He ruined my day kind of deal with his actions and just being.
You shared that story.
Yeah, just being the way he was, and so that sucked, but is what it is. Hey, if it only happened one time out of the days I stepped on public ground, I guess I should count that as a blessing. So overall, this year I was able to hunt 40 days exactly.
Nice.
Which pretty darn good. A little less than previous years. Kind of keep up. That's probably my main metric that I try to keep up with, because that's my measure of success, how many days I get out there. So I did 47, 45, 48, and then 40. So a few days less than usual, but still pretty good.
Not bad at all.
Well, especially with a new baby. I thought it was going to be worse.
Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really good. I mean, I had scheduled to go more. Part of it was I had several trips to places where I could only take one bird, and happened to do that in 1 or 2 days instead of 3 or 4. So it just ended up kind of being less days. And, worse things could happen than that.
No doubt. No doubt.
So that was good. I mean, overall, I'm putting an A+ on spring 2026 for myself. I had a blast. Had some really good memories and great hunts. Probably top 2 moments for me. Number 1, getting my wife her first turkey ever.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'd say that way up there. And delay doubled with her, which was pretty epic, from the same tree.
But you did mess up because you spoiled her.
Yeah, I mean, did I mess up? Because now she thinks it's easy and she may not want to go back. And so, hey, worst things could happen.
She might say, hey, this is easy. Let's go do it again today. Let's go do it again tomorrow. Let's go do it again the next day. Which, there's worse things than taking your best friend turkey hunting with you.
I think she liked it. She really enjoyed it. Said she saw why I was so obsessed with it. But she's not going to, let's just say, I don't think she's planning to hit 5 or 10 different states next year with me.
Yeah, as far as you know.
Yeah. Or without me, I guess would be even worse. But I think she'll go again. And this year I was trying to get her to go to try to get her second turkey, but wasn't possible. With just very hard to line up childcare at 5 a.m. So hopefully she'll get to go a couple times every year, essentially, is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
And so that was big highlight. And then probably second biggest highlight was getting my dad a turkey. And when I tell you, if I could have picked the square inch for him to be seated on that farm, when he pulled the trigger, I would have picked the exact spot he was seated. It's we call it the scenic overlook. It's probably the prettiest place on the whole farm. It's his favorite spot. He literally built a little mound to stand on so he can sit up there and watch the sunset or whatever. It's his favorite spot. And he was seated on the mound when he shot.
Oh, that's awesome.
The turkey was just gorgeous. So that was a huge highlight for me too. So overall, and then I had hard to choose things, but those are probably my top two. Had plenty of other ones that would be in there. I did hunt one new state and got it done, so that was fun. But it's just the Super Slam thing is really what you think I got down here close to finishing the thing out, and you'd think I'd just go ahead and finish it, but it just doesn't have its draw like it had at one point to me. I'm going to finish it. I don't really care when. I'm not grinding it out. It's actually just gotten where it's hard for me to want to go to the last couple of places I have over going back to some awesome places.
Yeah, I get that. And I will say that the feeling after you finish it of, well, what's next is totally real. And, are there, we've talked about this before, there are things that I feel like personally that I could do turkey hunting that would be more difficult than the US Super Slam.
I mean, there's no doubt.
I don't even want to tackle those because it's not that I'm afraid of tackling something difficult, because I'm certainly not. I'm in the mortgage business, for God's sake. That's difficult every single day. But it is when you have a goal like that, I think, and I'm a goal-driven person, we talk about our turkey hunting goals before every season.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have those goals to give you something to shoot for. But I think the number one goal for all of us should be to go out and enjoy every single day that we get, because those days are numbered.
That is true.
They're numbered ultimately by the big man up above, but they're also numbered by work. They're numbered by weather. If, like me, I'm not going to go out in some torrential downpour with lightning at home.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it. No reason to. So that limits your number of days. And I think I think we as a group of turkey hunters need to reprioritize and put that goal of, okay, yes, I want to accomplish a Super Slam, or I want to accomplish a Grand Slam, or I want to accomplish killing my first turkey. And we need to not let that affect our enjoyment of the sport. And I'm just as guilty. I did this before I finished the Super Slam, where there was so much pressure on me that I put on me. No one else put it on me. I put it on me to go and knock this state out, to get this state done. And when you have that kind of pressure on you, it does take away from the fun.
Yeah.
If I want that much pressure on me and to not have fun doing something, well, shoot, I can go into the office.
Yeah, there you go.
I can go sit in the office on a Saturday and work. So I totally get where you're coming from. The end of the Super Slam is climatic and anticlimactic at the same time, because you're excited to get it done. But when I look at turkey number 49, meaning the 49th state, that turkey that I harvested, that turkey is no more important to me than turkey number 17.
Yeah.
Or turkey from state number 26. And so, I've taken an animal's life. That's always a sad thing. It's always something that I think that we should all respect, taking any animal's life. And so there needs to be, some respect there, but yes, there should be a celebration as well. But when that ends, what's next? You ask someone like Doc Weddle that question, and he says, well, to do it again.
Yeah.
More power to you. Definitely go and do that if you want to. Personally, I've got a few little minor things that I want to do, but I'm working on going and finishing my friends' Super Slams, because they don't lack many states. And then once we've done with that, our goal is going to be to go and hit some of these states that we've hunted in that we just really had a ball in, and take our time, not have to kill and run off to the next state. Maybe you hunt in the mornings, you fish for 3 or 4 hours midday, and you go out, you try to roost one before fly up, or you go and you hunt for 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon. So, that really to me is what it's about at this point. Now, I finished it, so it might be easy for me to say that. Whereas if I lacked 20 states or something like that, I may not feel that way. But again, I feel like we need to reprioritize all that. And so I totally understand where you're coming from of not being in a hurry to finish it. You're young enough to where, what does it matter if you finish it this year or you finish it 5 years from now?
It has just, I guess you're looking at it from the perspective of someone that's changed because you finished it. And I feel like I've I'll just be transparent. I have 2 left. I had 5 left 3 years ago.
Yeah.
In my earlier conquesting years with this deal, I would have done those in 1 season and been done.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to say no problem. I may have not gotten one in a state or something, but I would have been pretty close. And with 2 years, definitely could have. So it's just changed for me. I just don't care that much. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be the youngest or I'm going to be the first or I don't care. When I finish it, it'll be, for me, cool, I did it. And I'm not really in a rush. Went and got one this year. I may or may not go get one next year and may or may not get one the next year. I'm not going to kill myself over it. If I do have an early demise in life and die at 47 states, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look at that accomplishment. You've been to 47 states, and how many people do you know in your life, like who are involved in your life, who've been to 47 states?
Not many. And if I happen to die in 2 generations, nobody will even know. So it doesn't matter.
Bingo.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, you're exactly right.
It doesn't matter. It's for me. So I've kind of decided, there for 2 years, I didn't take a trip with my brothers. I was like, this kind of sucks. Let's go on a trip together. And I'm not going to make them travel with me to some state that, to one state where we can get one turkey and it's not even going to be a very fun time. Like, let's go somewhere and have a big time. So that's what we did this year. Had a great time.
Yeah.
Then I did a trip with my family and had an awesome time with that. Ended up turkey hunting in the mornings for that. And, just prioritize some other things instead of super slam, super slam, super slam. And so I'll never do it twice. I'm actually well over halfway on the second round, well over. But I can promise you there's certain states I don't care to go back to hunt.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm going to take time off work. I'm going to take time away from family. I'm going to have the expense of, would I rather deploy it here or here? And it's like, okay, it's a pretty easy choice,
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I am. So I'll finish it one day. If I don't, okay. I don't really care. I'm having a great time anyway. And that's where I am. So, but maybe one day it'll happen. Hopefully in 2 years. I mean, kind of my tentative plans to do one new one next year and one the year after and be done.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of got that way towards the end of yours. I mean, it seemed like the last couple of years of it, you did like 1 or 2.
Well, the second to the last year, I think I went to 5 states. And the rush for me to finish was not for me. I wanted to finish while my dad was still here because, he'd been quietly watching me do this. And then I learned, I didn't know he even really cared anything about it until he and I were having a conversation and he had mentioned something about it. We talked for a while and I was like, wow, he really is interested in this, even though he cares basically nothing about turkey hunting. He cares about me. And, he thinks that this is something that's really cool and I want to finish it. So while he's still around so that he knows that I finished it, that I accomplished this goal. And so I kind of rushed through, my last year, I had 2 states to knock off. I went and knocked one of those off the list with my buddies for our annual trip. And then the last state, they had all killed in. And so I was able to go and enjoy that with a different buddy who lives in that state. And so, that was enjoyable and got to spend time and meet his family and, just enjoy that trip. So, yeah, I think my situation was a little bit different than yours is. And I think it's interesting how I can't tell you how many people I've talked to over the past year and a half or 2 years who have told me, yes, I am doing the Super Slam, but I'm really disenchanted with it at this point because everyone and their brother is doing it. And so many people put that above respecting their fellow hunters. And like you, the experience you had, and that dude's not doing a Super Slam. In fact, he's in, I had to guess, Super Slam based on the comment that he made to you, which was, I cannot stand out of state people coming here and hunting.
Yeah. I don't travel to hunt, so why do you? Kind of is how he was.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I just think that there are a lot of people who
do you get like
an awakening.
It feels like now it's almost like when you talk to people about it, most people who are a long ways into it, not the early starting, it's like, yeah, I'm doing it. It's almost like they don't even really want to tell you they're doing it anymore.
Yes.
It's like, but like 5 years ago, it felt like everyone was like, oh yeah, I'm doing it, like super excited about it. Now it's kind of like, yeah, I might be doing it. It's like they almost don't want to tell you.
Yeah, and I mean, that is Yankee John's the same way. Chip's the same way.
Yeah.
If they weren't this far into it, they would not finish it because of what's happened with the craze for this and the fact that people are being extremely selfish when it comes to hunting and, having these experiences like you had in that state.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting for sure. But, it is what it is. Just not as important in my life as I kind of thought it would be at this point, Yeah. That's okay. I don't really care. Life goes on. But
what's I guess kind of funny to me, and you certainly realize it, but just because I finished it doesn't mean that you're less of a turkey hunter than I am. And, and that's not an Andy versus Cameron. That's a Andy versus everyone out there who's turkey hunts.
Yeah.
Some of the best turkey hunters I know I'm not going to say they're not going to leave their state to turkey hunt, because they will. They'll go hunt some, a neighboring state, or go hunt with a friend or a family member who might live across the country. Every single year, they go to the same place, hunt with the same person every single year, or they may not leave their home state at all. They're some of the best turkey hunters I know. And so just because you finish the Super Slam does not make you a great turkey hunter. I think I've said this as well. If I can do it, there's no reason in the world why everyone who wants to do it, who's listening to this or who's not ever going to listen to it, there's no reason why they can't go do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm nothing special in the woods. So does that make the Super Slam this tough achievement? If I can do it, I got to say, no, it's not all that tough.
If you measure skill off of the number of turkeys killed by someone, then you're measuring poorly, I guess, Yeah. I mean, one of the best turkey hunters I know probably hadn't killed one in 10 years. That's from a choice standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, that is where it is for me. And there may be somebody out there that complete opposite spectrum. It fires them up every day to think about finishing it. And if so, cool. Good. I'm glad you have something that's inspiring you and that you enjoy. Seriously.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. It's just, I will say where I'm coming at from it. And that's where I am. But overall, 40 days in, which was fantastic. Got to hunt with my wife, my brothers, my dad, a couple friends. So I had a really good season. I think turkey populations look to be doing well. I think, obviously, based on regulations changing back, seems a lot of states are realizing the season delays are not the answer that we were looking for.
Yeah.
Except for Nebraska, apparently, because now they're delaying their season. So funny. It's just so funny. Like, they're like, all right, season delays will help with breeding. I think that's what they put out. Meanwhile, like, Tennessee and Alabama are like, okay, this did nothing. Let's go back to how it was.
Yeah. So much of the turkey population rests in God's hands. So
that's these rains we're having right now probably impact things way more than what time of year we hunt them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard deal from a biologist the other day that was they love to talk about like, well, we don't hunt any other birds in the breeding season, so this is the only game bird we hunt in the breeding season, that kind of thing. And it got me to thinking, I was like, well, that's true, but his example was shooting a pintail. If we go shoot pintails during the breeding season for ducks. I thought, okay, well, that would be bad, I guess, but we shoot ducks in December and January. We shoot hens and drakes, and that's right before the breeding season.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the worst?
There is no difference.
Well, I would say it's worse. We shoot the hens before they even have a chance.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree with you then.
I mean, if we were shooting, it would be the equivalent of us turkey hunting and shooting males and females in January and February.
Yeah.
Which is worse?
Yeah, shooting the females is not any good.
Before they ever have a chance.
Yeah, if you're trying to grow your population or maintain it.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was a poor example because the more I thought about it, I was like, actually, waterfowl, I would say, is worse than management of turkeys.
But I have to, I go back to the point too of does it, like talking about fall turkey hunting, if I kill that turkey in October, that Tom in October or November, he's not gotten a chance to breed this coming spring. If I kill him after he's bred this spring, guess what he's not going to do next spring? He's not going to breed. So what are we really doing?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you have to think of the relative timing. Like, what is it? If you shoot 3 out of 10 males on your property any time of the year, essentially, I think you're good. If there's 7 still there to breed.
Oh, yeah.
I still have yet to see anyone post anything showing that a problem is that there's hens running around that can't find a gobbler to hop on their back or that don't have viable sperm in them. Like what I haven't seen anything showing hens are laying like basically like my chickens because I don't have a rooster. They're just laying eggs that aren't fertilized. Have you?
Seems like I have heard someone say something about hen turkeys possibly laying eggs that are not fertilized, but I cannot remember who, when, or where.
I would think that would be, if that is to be, like if they found on a study site of some sort, 30% of the eggs that were laid were not fertilized eggs. They were eggs that would, no matter what happens, whether a coon eats them or not, they're never making a poult. If they find that, then there's something to this deal. If they don't find that, if 100% of the eggs have been fertilized by a male turkey, especially on some of these public lands where people are smoking the gobblers, it's not the season timing. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we can talk about that next week on the soup episode. I don't mean to go down a tangent on that, but it was an interesting observation I had the other day. So,
yeah, well, I mean, your only way of knowing that is to start breaking eggs.
Yeah.
And who's, I hope there's not any biologists who are doing that.
Especially not around me.
On a large scale.
Yeah, let me volunteer my property for that study.
Yeah, I mean, the only person that I could say that would even think that was okay might be Hank Brookside. He's just got to fill that tag, and well, there's nothing in the law that says it's not legal. So
yeah, if he cracks one egg and it's not fertilized, then he can't fill the tag with it. He's got to get him another egg.
Yeah,
got to find one that has a bolt in it. Oh, me. Well, overall, I guess turkey season 2026 for me was fantastic. I'll have fond memories that I'll never forget from it. And one thing I'll say that I hated about this season, I never hunted with you.
Yeah. I hate that we didn't make that happen, but we've got plans to change that in 27.
Yes.
So are we going to let the cat out of the bag that we're going back to Texas, or are we just not going to say anything about it for another 2 or 3 months?
Man, I'd say start her up now. Why not?
All right. Well, do you want to start selling tickets now, or you want to wait a couple of months to do that?
I mean, doesn't cost us anything to go ahead and put it up.
Okay. Well, then I say we just tell everybody, and I think we just did that.
Yeah.
We're going to raffle 2 turkey hunts in Texas again for late February 2027. We know the dates
Yeah, it's going to be
already.
this coming February is perfect because the season will run till the very end. So we're going to go February 25th through the 28th, I believe, was the dates we came up with.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to where we went. So we've done 2 properties through our raffle, and the second property we had a great time.
Yes.
So we'll be going back there. Everybody got a turkey except for one guy who shot and missed twice, who may be on this call and isn't me, but I'm not going to name names. But everybody had an opportunity, and we filled some tags. I killed, I think, my second largest turkey by spurs ever. And I mean, we had to bet. I guarantee you one thing, the 2 guys that went with us, I bet they would go again. What do you think?
They'll probably be one of the first ones to buy tickets once we make the link live.
Yeah. It was awesome. And then last year we did not do the raffle, and one of my friends actually went with the same place, and he killed his gobbler the first day. So that was good to know. I think he called in a pretty good flock of gobblers. So success looks good there. And man, that was the year we went there 2 years ago. The weather could not have been worse, and we still heard turkeys gobbling and had success. So if we luck into some good weather, I can't imagine.
That weather was brutal. It sucked.
It was awful.
Yeah. So if you want to go and laugh and have a good time, get an opportunity to shoot a turkey, hopefully.
A Rio.
Want to go and hang out for 3 days with some guys that are just hunting fools and maybe drink a glass of bourbon and eat some good food, then I think buying tickets to this raffle is going to be outstanding. And we're going to do something a little different this year, though, aren't we, with the funds?
Yeah, we may need to discuss that more. We will make a donation somewhere with these funds. Hey, here's a favor of the week for everybody. If you have a recommendation on how to use the funds from this raffle, let us know. We'd like to know if there's a place we can put these in. We want to have the greatest impact for wild turkeys as we can. And so all proceeds from this raffle are going to get donated somewhere. We'll announce that later. But if you have an idea for that, we'd love to hear it. And that would be a great favor of the week, if you think.
Yeah. And what we've done in the past is we've split that money 2 ways and sent some to Turkeys for Tomorrow and some to the NWTF. And we're not saying that we're not going to do that this year.
We just like to explore other ideas.
Yeah. If there's just an amazing research project going on somewhere around the country, then, and you want to throw that project into the ring to get funds donated, then email Cameron.Weddington@gmail.com or Andy@IamTurkeyHunting.com, and we'll put that on the list and we will certainly consider it.
Yeah, I think so. And so it'll be a big time, late February 2027, Rio Grande turkey hunt. It is 3 full days of hunting. It's afternoon, full day morning, up to 2 birds per person. So, best case scenarios, we kill 8 because we'll be drawing 2 winners. It's going to be the exact same parameters we've used every year. 2 winners. They'll be separately drawn. It's not, you can't put in as a group, I guess is what I'm saying. And so there'll be 4 of us in camp. It has been, the last time we did it 2 years ago, that was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
My sides were hurting. We laughed and had such a good time. And then also had some great turkey hunts. So you can't beat that. And got to kick off the season early. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll do that again. Andy will get our raffle link going and put it in the show notes, I assume?
Yes, although I wouldn't look in the show notes for this episode.
Okay.
We'll mention it again next week, and I think it'll be in the show notes for next week's episode.
Perfect. Yeah. So look forward to that, and we'll make some posts for social media and things like that and get that going. But please, if you have a recommendation for a study or habitat project or anything specific that you know of that's going on that we could send, hopefully several $1,000s to. That's what it's been the past couple times. We would love to do that. And we would like to entertain some ideas. So, and if nothing else comes up, we may just do what we've done in the past. Half to TFT, half to NWTF.
Yeah.
So it'll go somewhere good. We know that much. It's not going to us.
No, it is not.
Yeah. So
we've both been blessed that we don't have to worry about feeding our families and paying bills with
That's right.
your raffle money. So
that is right. It will go back to some kind of conservation work for turkeys. So be looking for that coming up. And so there's a good favor of the week. Secondary favor, if you had anything super interesting happen to you during the 2026 turkey season, or if you want to send us a recap of your season, email us, tell us that stuff.
Yeah, that'll be fun too.
Yeah.
We may even read your story on the show.
Yeah, unless it's a little too Hank Brookside-y, then we may not.
Well, we give Hank airtime. I don't know why we can't give a little airtime to someone else. But just remember, if you're doing something you're not supposed to do and we read it on the show, you may get a phone call from the man.
Yeah. And for those out there who don't know, Hank isn't real. Just a little FYI here at the end of the episode. If you made it to here, it's a joke. So anyway, with that, Andy, you want to wrap us up?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. We know that you have choices. We appreciate you spending your time with us. We hope you have a wonderful week and look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week.